So this is the first time tattooing a pound of flesh, and this is my overall experience with it. Trying to apply the stencil on a pound of flesh is a little tricky compared to actual skin. What I did to get a clean stencil was to saturate the area with stencil stuff and pretty much spread it around until it was tacky and more sticky than wet. The stencil didn't really transfer to the pound of flesh as I would like it to have, so I tried to make sure I had enough pressure and to push it as firmly as possible against it for several seconds. A paper towel can always help you for a cleaner application of your stencil on a cylindrical surface like a calf, thigh, or in this case the back of the forearm. After placing it, I let it dry for around 5 hours and decided to jump into it. At this point, I wasn't trying to rest my hand on the stencil because I didn't want to smear it, I didn't want to lose any of the design, so I just tried to build up the shapes with lighter tones. Didn't try to work on one spot for too long because I didn't want to lose the structure lines of the stencil. A few minutes into it, I noticed the stencil was starting to fade pretty quick, so I got the idea to use hairspray. And that worked a lot better than I thought it would, darkening the stencil and creating somewhat of a protective seal. After doing this, I felt a lot more comfortable moving forward with how I would any other tattoo. As far as the actual tattoo application feels, it's definitely different. A pound of flesh is a lot firmer than actual skin. I had to turn up my voltage 0.5 volts in order to get the saturation that I wanted. It's not completely alien to tattoo on. The shading was somewhat close to actual skin, but I did have some trouble lining. I did notice it cut the material pretty easy, so be cautious when lining for the first time. But I think getting a hang of it, I would have had a better result if I had slowed down. I got it because I think it's awesome having a physical tattoo you can show off in person at your studio, at conventions. Tattooing it will throw you a bit of a learning curve though. I wish I had slowed down and took my time to get smoother transitions and better saturation. After the tattoo, I noticed there was still some stencil left over, but using bleach is a great way of getting it out. I used a bleach cleaning spray, washed it off a few times. After spraying it, it took out all of the stencil. It did not affect the tattoo at all. It did not lighten up any of the pigment, surprisingly. I definitely plan to finish this arm. I want to cover it entirely and just work on getting to know this material a little bit better. I definitely think this is a great way to show off your tattoos, to showcase your portfolio pieces, to bring this around and travel with you. Only thing I would do different is to slow down when getting into it. Definitely don't rush it, give the stencil time to dry, make sure you have a solid stencil transfer. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you can on what you thought of the video, how it could be better, any constructive criticism that you have. Thanks.